You can do that.
Coach it.
Swag, buddy.
You can't coach it. You either got it or you don't. That's
I was on set a few years ago when we released a script in which the David character was raped. And the crew really takes this stuff to heart. They were devastated. How can you guys do that to Benny? And I said, well, no one's doing anything to Benny. He plays a character named David, and that's what we've written. And so you know, Cece told me I was godless at the time. So
We get accused of that pretty much every week.
Yeah. So the thing was, and everybody came around and embraced that story, but it does have an impact on the actors, on the crew, on everybody.
It's horrible, for one thing, you know. I mean, when we're sitting in the room talking about whether or not to do this, it's much bigger than just, okay, are we going to kill Lem? It's, you know, we all love Kenny so much. Not having Kenny on the set every day is so, you know, it's such a huge bummer. It's a huge loss not to, like, just kind of be hanging out with them, right?
And not to have Lem's character,
Exactly.
who was the moral center of the strike team.
Exactly. So
Which
you're thinking
a
about
loss. So, yeah.
Yeah.
On a storytelling basis, killing him posed problems because A, he was sort of the moral center of the group, and B, you know, the same way he sort of would light up a room when you would hang out with him on the set before you were shooting, he did sort of the same thing in the scenes. He just added an extra layer that felt like you gotta have him in the show. So it was an incredibly difficult thing, and essentially what we decided is, from day one, it was, all right, we're gonna kill this guy off, but Sean basically said, only if by the time we get to that last episode, we've earned it. So, you know, we were almost trying not to earn it, which was very interesting. And I think Sean was doing everything he could not to earn it. And the pieces just fell into place, and it just, you know, we got there, and we hated doing it, and it was one of the hardest things we've ever done.
Ultimately, what it came down to is what we got from it. You know, it gave us so much to play, and enriched, you know, the dynamics of the show in so many ways that it ended up, you know, in the balance, it was worth it. But it's very hard to kind of make those decisions.
So that's how we sort of handled it there. And then what happened was, as soon as Sean made the decision to kill Lem, Kenny was told.
When I found out, I think, you know, I won't get into how I found out, but I felt like I got hit in the gut. You know, I just like the wind knocked out of me, you know, like in that stun for a moment, you know, and I drove home and I didn't tell anything to my girlfriend. And I walked in the house and I was trying to be okay, and then I just kind of collapsed crying. I guess it just overwhelmed me for a minute. And then I kind of got up and thought about it, and thought about, you know, all the, I guess, wonderful storylines they've given me this season and the build of my character, and I kind of just thought, and I kind of got why they were doing it creatively, and what great stories that it could end up, you know, having for the next 10 episodes. And on a creative level, I thought, well, when we started out on The Shield, everybody was about the creativity, and the show was so edgy and you know, dangerous in many respects for what was on television at that time, that, you know, I wanted Landgraf and Sean and everybody to kind of stay true to what we were about from the beginning. So I thought about it, and I thought, actually, it's a pretty genius idea. I know at the beginning for the pilot, I was cast as a recurring person, and before they started shooting, they kind of approached me because I think they saw some energy between Michael Walton and myself that just sort of worked, really, you know, jumped for whatever reason on TV, and so for whatever reason they offered, well, thank God they offered me a series regular. So I think Sean probably didn't know exactly what he was gonna do, you know, so I just did what I always do, is just do a ton of my own history, my own background, and hopefully just add some colors to what we were doing and what Sean was writing. And, you know, it just came off as somebody that obviously had a conscience, you know. So I just kind of had it affect me more maybe than some of the others, you know.
So what is a team without a conscience? I don't know. I have no I have no idea where it's gonna go. I know that there's pain ahead on a level that we've never faced before. Real sincere pain, I do know that. In whatever direction they take it in, but the outcome, I have no idea. I'm just along for the ride.
You know, I should have seen it coming. I mean, the whole catchphrase for this season is "conscience is a killer." And Kenny's character of Lemonhead has been the conscience of the strike team throughout. And it just made perfect sense. However, you know, heartbreaking. Also, I can't think of another person in the cast who would make more of an impact in his passing. And that's not to slight any of my fellow cast members. It's just that Ken happens to be the sort of the heart and soul of the strike team.
Hi, guys.
What's up, guys? What's your name?
Leah.
Leah Kenny. Good to meet you. What's your name? Quincy? Good. I'll be acting with you guys today, so let's have a good time. Let's have a good time.
At first, you guys are scared of him because he comes in loud, but then he seems like a nice guy. Okay, you guys were fighting over a jar, and then it smashed down onto the ground, and he went to pick it up and it cut his hand. Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
And scream!
Hey! Open the door now! Hey, it's okay, it's okay. Where's your mom? Where's your mom?
Keep screaming.
She's gone.
She's gone. Okay, what's your name?
My name is Haley.
Haley? What's his name?
Wendell.
Wendell. Listen, it's just a little blood. It's gonna be okay. Would you let me wash that for you? Can I wash it out? Yeah. Can I wash that?
What the hell's going on?
He comes through that door, and he's gonna come right here.
Okay. So should I have my gun back in here then?
Yeah.
So he sees it?
Step him in.
When I come back in, I see it's there.
Yeah.
I'm gonna will that work?
Or should we put him in behind you? Should we bring him in behind him? Empty.
It's got nothing in it though.
And you can't shoot. That's
good.
Jesus.
He's got a gun!
I'm a cop.
Lisa, are you calling?
Just make sure he keeps his hand wrapped up till someone gets here, okay? Okay? Okay, you keep it right there. Thank you.
Okay, that's what it is. Yeah.
Perfect, just like that.
It's going to be hard. I mean, I don't think there's any two ways about it. It's definitely, it's going to be hard, especially now that everyone knows what's at stake. So all the days leading up to it, that actual day, you know, it's going to be hard. I don't know anything else. But I think all of these guys, everyone, will do it. Because like I said, I don't think that there's any resentment in any way. You know, I think everyone's sort of thinking, wow, you know, something that was sort of expected, and then it's, you know, it was expected, and we've been fortunate that it's taken this long for it to happen. You know, the catch-22 of that is you just didn't want to see anyone in that core group go, and we don't. You know, they were kidding around in the bus when we found out talking about a dream sequence. So, you know, maybe the writers will sort of sink to that level and write a dream sequence, and Lem will wake up and go, oh shit, all right, I'm here. I doubt it, but hey, all right. If they go to a season 7 or 8, it's something to think about.
I guess I'm not a terribly sentimental person. Maybe I am. I don't know. But it kind of snuck up on me is what I'm getting at, and how strange it is and how emotional it all is. And I can't imagine what Wednesday night's going to be like. Because yes, Dutch and Claudette, they're not working together, but Kenny's going to be gone. And I know a lot of shows, people come, they go, they get killed. It's all really part of the job. And there's a veneer of that around here, but really, we all started on something, and there's a kind of a sense of loyalty, I think, that the writers feel to us, and we feel to the writers, and the actors feel to each other. And let me put it this way. If the show were going to go on for another 5 seasons, I don't think they would kill Kenny off, you know? It's sort of the story that is, the tragedy that is Vic Mackey. Well, we're in the 4th act, and it's a 4th of 5 of the 5 Shakespearean acts, and it's going to cycle to its conclusion.
You know, so far, every season, whenever I thought I knew where it was going to go, it didn't go in that direction. So if they've got 7 seasons of directions that you cannot figure out, then it's great. But I am quite lethal and cold-blooded about when it's over, it's over. And, you know, it's like, well, end of story, and off we go. I hope the rest of the cast gets to that, too. Just gotta remember, I'm like the old fart around here, so.
I'm just so emotionally on the end of it right now. This whole thing with Kenny is just totally got me.
It's a different feel to the whole episode so far. I mean, usually, despite the fact that our content is always very heavy and very, rough, and there's a lot of emotion to a lot of the stuff, it's really light off camera. People are joking and laughing, and I think partly due to Lem's death and really to Kenny's future absence, it's not like that right now. One, the script is just really heavy, and every scene is heavy for us. I think Jay Carnes and David Marciano have some really, really funny stuff in this episode. And the read-through, I was shocked at how funny it was, because I think I was just so focused in reading the script at all the tension of the strike team story, and I had found out just the day before I got the script that what was going to happen in it, and just feeling the weight of that coming, that I think I didn't get when I just read it, that there is a lot of humor in this one too.
I'm a detective, you understand? I want the name of the owner of these machines right now, or you will be sitting in a holding cell for as long as it takes me to find those names.
Such, let's go. Hang it up.
Hey. You own those machines?
I was just filming you.
This crew is a crew that, we shoot on the run. I mean, it's like a pirate crew. We do things, and they've been together for such a long time that it's like an elite unit that's seen the elephant, as they used to say in the Civil War. These guys are very professional, and I don't know who's seen what, but I guarantee you it's not affecting their jobs or what they're thinking about. They're shooting an episode of The Shield and doing a great job as always.
All right, quiet, please read through. Reading through, quiet, please.
It's really interesting. We're dealing with a script that really people got 2 days before we started shooting, and that's only select people. Only a choice. Only a select few actually got the script before we started shooting, and there are others now. We'll be looking for a prop, and someone will go, "Dude, I haven't read it. I don't know." It's absolutely stressful in that regard. It's also stressful because you want to talk about it. I mean, I'm eating, sleeping, breathing this storyline, and emotionally I can't help but get invested in it, and I know that everyone here, because it is the family that it is also invested in it, and everyone's intrigued, and everyone has their own theories as to what it's going to be, which is kind of the interesting side of it. But I'd like everybody to be a part of it, and soon they will. I'm assuming before we shoot it, everyone will know what the final moment's going to be.
It's Stephen K., director. It's been directing from the beginning, and I'm really tight with him, and they really want him to direct this, and he turned down a pretty big movie because they said, listen, we really want you to do this. This is a great episode, you know, and he just kept looking at me the whole table read, you know, just the whole thing, you know, and Michael and Walt just kept staring at me, so it was like, you hitting me, like, you know, this is it, and this is the end of, like, this, and, yeah, I mean, I don't know, I mean, it was, yeah.
Just felt compelled to just tell him, you know, how much I love him, and how much we're all gonna miss him, and I think he got a lot out of that. So I hope so. I hope so. Because I've just gotten so much out of him. I mean, we all have.
Yeah, but I'm gonna carry a spray gun in this one. I'm carrying a shotgun. The reason I'm gonna go with a shotgun is because if we're talking about numbers like this, and you know, if I have a sawed off, I can just spray the area. You know what I mean? We're talking about being grossly outnumbered with 3 guys, and we have at least 6, maybe more that we're dealing with. You know, shotgun could be a good weapon of choice.
And it's Lem's shotgun. Yeah, you want Lem's shotgun then? Is that what it is?
Yeah.
I'm okay with the first guy coming into the door with the shotgun. If you grab that and the other 2 with the MP5.
Yeah, it's Lem's shotgun, and that's the reason why Lem always preferred the shotgun. This is Lem's gun usually. Old sawed off.
I would prefer the MP5 because you could do the 3-round burst on them if you had to spray. Boom, 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 boom. You know, hit them that way.
Yeah.
But if you come in with a shotgun,
It's one shot at a time.
Yeah, one shot at a time. You can hit a couple guys. Yeah, you got 6 in here. I don't know. I think you would move tactically. You would move better with.
So
the
why
MP5.
do I have to be the first guy through the door?
No. You can,
You don't?
You can kick in the door and he can go in first.
All right, I'll kick it, and one of you guys go.
Well, he goes around back.
All right, I'll kick it. You go first. I'll follow right behind you. How's that? Fine with me.
Send Ryan.
Yeah, send Ryan.
Send Ronnie in.
If he comes in,
We're outnumbered. Send Ronnie in
then
first.
you got to kick the door in, right?
Yeah, and then just go down to the ground.
And you're going to have a guy standing right here, so you don't want to turn your back on this guy. You just come in, you can knee him in the back and just come right up on this guy.
And then Chicky will be coming through, and Ben's gonna try to get away.
If you clear him out this way. I got a shotgun, dude. If he's going to get up,
Yeah.
I just give him a little pop in the top of the head, and I got him.
On out. Ben, even if you get leg right in, you know.
I got to get out of that doorway.
It'll just gonna be sloppy. It's just a little sloppy, man.
Now we can do this here and change something up in there.
No, I mean, I think if it's in the back, if it's that, and, you know, whether it's the butt of the gun or his arm.
That's real. I mean, for somebody, I mean, that's a little, you know what I mean? Somebody coming out and just kind of getting the right. I think if it's sloppy and he comes out, go ahead, come out, man. Come on, you look.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's exactly what it is. That's exactly what it is.
Right? You never know the situations that you're going to be in, and that scene in particular was, you know, really kind of scary without the big fella, you know, doing that alone. And it feels different. You know, everything about it's different. I mean, the approach is different.
Who's coming?
The fact that Ronnie and Vic go in the front door, and you know, and talk to Steven about this, and I was at the back door. You know, bravado goes out the window, man, when you're alone, and you're outnumbered, you know, at least 2 to 1.
Get down! Down on the ground right now! On the ground! Don't move! Down on the ground! Put your hands in your head! I got rabbits! Yeah, but let's go on your face! On your face! Come on, fat ass, get up! Get up! Let's go! Hands on your head! Hands on your head!
You know, and I can imagine the fear that police officers must feel going into those situations every single day. You know, so it's yeah, it's an interesting thing to play and to ponder and think about.
If Claudia's so hot on these guys, she can book them herself. We gotta go get Lem.
Yeah.
I think every season we've tried to represent some sort of change, whether it be an emotional shift in a character, whether it be something in the environment that's shifted in the community. You know, season 4 with Glenn Close, we had the whole asset forfeiture thing and a new captain. So, you know, we try to infuse something that essentially becomes the engine behind some of the drama. And I think this season, the big change was obviously bringing in Forrest Whitaker's character.
Under the guise of business.
I just really gotta almost like play it harder because it's just different coming in the middle of the night than it is coming like first thing in the morning.
Yeah.
So he's very respectful. You know, it's like I woke her up. But then, I mean, I'll do it. It's just very, very different. I was just trying to see if there's some other logic.
No, I mean, the truth is, I don't know, can we, and this fucks us a tiny bit, but can we shoot the inside stuff now and come back and shoot this outside stuff when the sun goes down and shoot the outside stuff as you know, 4:30 in the morning, 5 in the morning, so that it is, you woke up and it's on your time, you know, so it is still.
So the time change is because you want it to be another day.
The time change is because it's now the beginning of this day. Yeah.
You know, move from episodes.
Instead of
right?
I'm saying instead of the night before the morning.
Right.
Yes. And there were just all kinds of questions. What happened in that time that we didn't feel like were answered satisfactorily?
Right. There's a lot of time that went on. It was 4 hours.
So if we condense that period, I feel like what happens is basically what we see.
It was great working with Forrest. He's an intense actor. The storyline was very intense, and it really got intense at the end too as well. So I loved going to work every day because every day I was challenged. I got to work with a great actor, you know, and it was just exciting for me to just meet the day head on and to work on these scenes with him. I miss him.
6 o'clock in the morning, he walks into your house, which is definitely awkward.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's awkward.
Yeah, good.
It's awkward that I'm even here. It's awkward that she's not dressed.
I mean,
that scene is very complicated. I think one of the most complicated scenes in the episode. I'm most troubled by it because I don't really know what I did, what it means. You know, I just tried to play it honestly. At one point, I thought about playing the scene because it's easy and it is in the writing, and I could play the scene as if I'm totally deceiving her, and I'm just trying to get information. But I chose to do it, lost, because he seeks comfort in her. Because I think that he sees her not trying to pay back Mackie. He's not trying to pay back Mackie. She's one of the true sources of good in the whole show. Everybody's got so much supposed duality, which is really just like a guise for being bad. Duality when you kill someone is not really duality. If I shoot you in the head, you know what I mean? If I shoot a cop point blank in a room like Vic Mackey did, to protect myself, there's no duality in that to me. That's just me protecting myself. If I allow a police officer to die like he does in episode like 10, a guy to die, I ain't begging for his life. There's no duality in my mind, you know what I mean? So, from Kavanaugh's point of view, you know, me going to her is me going to her. Because I say to her in the scene, do you ever fight back? Have you ever tried to stop him with everything you have? And I realized she hasn't. And it's inside of that moment that I realized that perhaps I will have to condemn myself by crossing the line. Yeah, the character of Kavanaugh, when I first took the part, I told them that I was going to go through a physical transformation as it became more and more intense, and as I was going after Mackie in a deeper way. So each episode, you start to see him physically transform. And so what happens is that, like, the first time you see me, I have like facial hair. You know, I'm quite a bit, you know, heavier, I guess. And then I lose. And the next time you see me, I've cut the facial hair off. I'm like cleaner. I'm trying to get more and more disciplined on a line and more capable. And so what happens is, as it goes along, you know, I shaved off my hair, my physicality started to change, my very essence and being becomes harder and stronger. You know, I think that Kavanaugh is somebody that when he meets battle, it makes him stronger, it makes him more focused. And defeat, unlike for many, for Kavanaugh, he sees as an avenue to try to win. So it's exciting to do this transformation. I think that when I come back for the last 2, something else will have happened. Something will have occurred. I'm still thinking about it. I have to read the script, and I kind of respond to the tragedies and to that occur within the character.
We were lucky. I think Forrest, took it well beyond anything that we had envisioned, as far as making it his own, making him, kind of quirky and just, compelling as hell to watch, and a great foil for Vic.
I think it's fascinating if you dissect the Kavanaugh character and you dissect the Vic Mackey character, and then you see how their actions filter through into the brains of viewers, and how viewers pick who's the good guy and who's the bad guy.
A lot of people think of him as villainous even throughout the show. I don't understand how. People seem, like people watch the show, I'm the bad guy, I'm the villain, I'm the anti-villain. But to me, it's like, it's a statement on the character of society.
The truth of the matter was that Kavanaugh was a good cop. He sensed that Vic had maybe killed Terry. He sensed that Vic was a bad cop, and he was doing his job. He's an IED investigator. His job is to investigate and root out bad cops. And the truth about Vic is, any way you slice it or dice it, he's a killer. He's a bad cop. He does a lot of good. But if you filter out if you just go by the law, Vic's just a bad guy and he should be off the streets. And so amazingly enough, as Kavanaugh was pursuing this guy and doing everything the right way, the viewers just started to hate this guy and saw him as the evil villain, And I always was amazed at that because, I think part of our original intent with the Kavanaugh character was to sort of shine a light back on Vic and remind viewers Vic's the bad guy. I mean, it used to sort of be, in the beginning of the show, it was 50-50. Half the people were like, I love Vic Mackey. Half the people were like, he's a bad cop, we got to get him off the street. And I think we got into this odd balance by the end of season 4 where it was like 90% of the people thought he was great and 10% of the people thought he was bad. So, having the Kavanaugh character come in, maybe we could level the playing field, but instead it became 100% people liked Vic and everybody couldn't stand Kavanaugh.
This is the code that everybody has bought into and everyone thinks is okay. He's so good, his code is so strong with him and his warriors that his warrior in episode 11 actually puts a grenade inside of a car with his partner who's been by his side and has protected him for years and years and years, who lives by the same code that Vic Mackey does. But that's what everybody likes. That's what everybody thinks is okay. But I am the villain. Give me a break, dude. You know what I mean? I'm like trying my best to help society. I'm not trying to harm anybody. You know what I mean? All I did was like say, I want your office because you're not doing anything. I got to clean up everything.
Right. I know you better than anybody, man. You're gonna love this place.
Right.
I
can't do that, right? Because I've already got my face.
Because really, what you're saying is take this because that means you're still with us.
Right.
Yeah.
But and I think what you just said is right. I mean, you genuinely do believe it's a beautiful place. It's as great as all this is.
No, I mean the flip side of it.
In your brain, it's beautiful. It is.
But the most important thing is it keeps him safe.
Yeah. That's right.
I mean, at the beginning of the scene, the thing you care about most is taking care of him and keeping him safe.
Yeah.
And then when he won't accept that, you think the worst about him, and now it's about keeping the other 2 guys safe.
Well, tonight is the big scene where Shane kills Lem, and we're doing 2 pops before that where the guys are waiting and Lem hasn't showed, and they're starting to get worried that maybe he's not coming. And the first scene we're going to shoot next is Shane showing up after he's killed Lem. He's seen his friend die. He was responsible. And he's got to sell it to his guys that, I had a tail and I've been driving around and I don't know what happened and where's Lem. Hey! I had a tail. It took me a while to shake it.
Yeah.
How late is he?
Late.
He is?
He'll be here.
Yeah.
You all right?
I think as much as it's a scene about him selling to the guys, bullshitting the bullshitters, Walt and I have talked about it. It's about him. It's about him in a weird way. When you do something like this, when you commit an act like this, I think, and especially when it's someone that you love, I think 2/3 of the time is convincing yourself that it never happened. And I think he is here trying to go, I didn't do that. I didn't. That didn't happen. That was a blip. That was some kind of weird alternate universe, and it's not real. And I think it's convincing himself that he did it for the family. He did it for it wasn't to get himself off. It was to take care of his wife and his family, and he did what he felt was the only thing he could do.
And there's a lot of emotion with this guy, and I think it's going to be easy to give stuff away and harder to hold it in, but I think it's just going to be really powerful.
And I was just, there's something in my car. I need to go get, there's something in my car and I got to go get it. And what is it? And then I saw it. It's like, oh, that's pretty serious. But okay, don't think about it, don't even look at it. It's not a problem, don't even look at it. Hold it, and then go and give him a sandwich and tell him you love him. And just tell him you love him and touch him. You know, and that kind of happened. And I'm so glad that happened. Because in the rehearsal, it didn't, and I didn't, nor did I go there in my imagination in the rehearsal either. It was a very kind of monotone, non-productive rehearsal for me because I was holding everything inside. But I touched him, you know, for a moment, and he felt so good. He felt like, you know, Lem. He felt like my strong partner, my bud, you know, and I just wanted to feel his strength. And you can feel it in Kenny's arms, you know, you can feel it, you can see it in his forearms, you see it in his arms. When you feel it, it's so solid. And to kind of have that, like, I'll never forget that feeling, you know, of touching him
Shane!
Before I threw the grenade.
I mean, the end felt good. I mean, there were a lot of moments that were just really connected at the end because on an emotional level, we both were very emotional for different reasons, but yet we had that same thing in common. And the way it kind of spun off and, you know, kind of joked a bit about the sandwich and the food, felt like we were back to being best friends. Like there was a resolution, everything's okay, you know, and then, yeah, that was it.
Yeah, it was very surprising the whole evening. It was hard. It's really hard. Yeah.
You know, one of the interesting things about Shane killing Lem is that Shane had watched how Vic operated all these years, and essentially, Vic sort of set the map and the blueprint for Lem's killing. The difference is that Vic's a much smarter cop than Shane is. Not only that, he's also able to understand the difference between a guy like Terry, who was just a new guy on the team, and a guy like Lem, who essentially was a family member.
I'm sorry.
And the truth is, if Vic would have been the one that would have met up with Lem, he would have found out that Acevedo was lying. He would have gotten through it all. Shane acted impulsively, essentially the same way Vic did with Terry.
Transfer is denied. I need my best detective on this.
I tend to take a longer view of these TV shows. I don't think of them as being things that, you know, the show as being something that's on Tuesday nights at 10, even though that's the lifeblood of the show. I tend to think of it as, what will this show be and seem 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now?
Grenades, the thing this morning.
El Salvadorans. The leader's still missing. His name's Guardo. Start there.
And this is something that, to me, is going to cement the character of Lemonhead, and Kenny Johnson, who plays him, is going to elevate him in the pantheon of this show and really cement him in a completely immortal kind of way on this show. So while it's a short-term pain, you know, I think it's a long-term gain for both the show and for us.
The guys know the strike team will never be the same. They know their friendships are different. The series will never feel the same as it did. I mean, let's face it, creatively, this show works extraordinarily well. And I think that a big reason is our core strike team. And they have a lot of fun together. These guys are tight, they love each other, they're friends, they're cool, they're badasses. That core group will never be the same because Lem, who is arguably the sort of most easygoing, most fun, the guy who sort of everybody loved, is gone. And these guys, as season 6 progresses, will all wonder what their part was they played in his demise.
Happy? Are you happy now, Detective Mackey?
Hopefully what it causes is this extreme tension within the strike team. It's got to create something extraordinary. Vic's killed someone. Shane's now killed someone. So there are two cop killers within this team. Ronnie hasn't killed anybody, can still plead. You never know who's going to turn you in. I think it now causes that looking over the shoulder, you're going to turn me in. Well, I've got something on you, you've got something on me. He's got nothing on us. It creates a lot of mystery, doesn't it?
So the question is, how does his death affect the other characters? Does it change them at all?
It's all great. And Michael and Walden and myself said from like the very beginning, we go, look, we have such a strong bond that, 50 years, if we live 50 years, 30 years, whatever, after the show, we're gonna be sitting together, drinking like we do, hanging out like we do, and just laughing like we do. And we will. I mean, we're all that close outside of here too, so it's like, created a great thing for everybody, and what more awesome, thing is that in life? It's all good. It's all good.
All right, the gates are clean. Pay attention, everybody. Just real quickly, want to thank and acknowledge the finest, best television crew in Hollywood or anywhere else. On what I think is really our best season yet. Just want to say some raps on some actors here. Paula Garces, whoever you are. David Marciano. Forrest Whitaker. Michael Jace. Benito Martinez. Jay Carnes. CCH Palmer. Our star, Michael Chiklis. And finally, I just want to say thank you, Walton Goggins. Walton Goggins. David Reese Snell. I'm blanking, I'm sorry. Because I said Marcel because I wanted to get to our last guy, a man whose dedication and professionalism and friendship, especially over these last 4 weeks, I've really come to admire. And I'll always call you my friend, and I love you, and we all do. Kenny Johnson. Give it up for Kenny!
I just want to say, I have to say, thank you. You guys, for 4.5 years now, have been my family. And, and I don't take it lightly. When I have to get up at 4:30 in the morning, I get excited to get up. That's not like me. I love coming to work. I love being around this crew. I consider you all my friends in the cast. Every one of you, and I gotta say, living the strike team for the last 4 years, I've had the most incredible relationship and friendship with these guys, and I couldn't be happier to be a part of the Shield, and I couldn't be more proud of what Sean and the writers created and put out there into the world, and I feel so blessed, to be able to have done that, and I love you guys more than you know. I feel a little numb right now because I know I have to go, and I've had a little bit of a hard time knowing that, but beautiful things are ahead for everybody, and I'm just again blessed that I got to be a part of something also now that's gonna catapult into the next 10 and gives you guys wonderful stuff to play with. And I love you. That's it. You know, I just love you all. So thank you. Go Shield!
Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Katie. Happy birthday to you.
Thank you. That's well done, man. Well done. You want my phone?
See you later. Yep.
Thanks for having me.
I love getting those.
Both guys got to stick together. Thank you.
Thank you.
Please don't forget to
Danny, bro.
Have a good one. All right, buddy. Great season.